Hey everybody, this is Oliver G and you're listening to the Eiffel Tower. Today's episode is going to be about first-time trips to Paris. We're also going to discuss...
Can I interrupt you for just a moment?
Why?
You're not Oliver.
Okay, you got me.
Anyone at home who picked that gets an extra point. That was the voice of my brother Eddie.
It's me.
He's in Paris and we're doing a bonus episode for several reasons. But before we get into the jingle music and into the meat of this podcast episode, I'm going to set the scene. Mm-hmm. Eddie, you were... Am I talking to you or the listeners here?
Both.
Okay, Eddie was in Paris with me for my first ever visit. Mm-hmm. And we came in the studio to record some of the audio book for my new memoir.
Ooh, you guys are in for a treat.
We got talking about our first trip to Paris. And the night before we came in here, I put some social media posts out and said, hey, everyone, what was your first trip to Paris like? We got some great answers.
Oh, yeah, we certainly did.
And we're going to be delving into them, reading some of the best ones and sharing some stories with a little surprise for you, Eddie, at the end.
I hope it's food.
But seeming this is... Oh, gosh, you're already going to be disappointed. But seeming this is a bonus episode, I don't need to talk about any sponsors or anything, so let's get right into it. Okay, so Eddie... welcome to the studio of...
Thank you for having me. It's exactly how I remember.
Well, it's funny that you say that because people who are new around here won't know what you're talking about.
Oh.
Because 2 years ago, you came into the studio when this podcast was young. It was 1 year old and a young one at that. That was an inside joke from that episode.
Oh, God.
And what we did is we...
Can you link them to that one?
It's really hard to link podcasts.
What if you read out the URL and they type it in?
Not really.
HTTP.
What happened was the first time Eddie came into the studio, we went on a wild journey retracing our first steps in Paris. A lot of people at home will be going, yep.
They love it.
Someone's reaching over to their...
Nudging.
Yeah, and they're going, remember that?
Oh,
and
yeah.
that person goes, I wasn't in that early. Missed out.
They're lost.
But
Could be their gain, though, if they go on this.
Yeah, and we won't spoil it, but I'll do the very brief version.
Yeah, back of the DVD version.
Yeah, back of the DVD. Do people still use DVDs?
Netflix thing.
Netflix autoplay. We came to Paris. Eddie was 12. I was 21. We were super unprepared. Mm-hmm. We needed a place to stay for the night. Everything was booked. And should I give away what happened?
Yeah.
What happened is a very kindly lady that worked on the Champs-Élysées in a tourist booth took pity on us and let us crash at her house. And it was a magical story. For the podcast episode, we tried to find her. Did we find her? I don't know.
That you'll have to find.
But in the episode, I can't reveal anything. But I can say that at the end of this episode, there's a big surprise for you, Eddie.
I swear to God.
There's actually a big surprise for you. A big surprise.
Yeah.
So what we did just now is Eddie and I sat down. I'll rewind to last night. Before we went to sleep, I put a picture on Instagram and Facebook. And any of you guys out there not following on Instagram or Facebook, this is how you're missing out.
It was a nice photo, actually.
I put a lovely picture of you and I.
Yeah, thank you.
On this River Seine, on one of the bridges.
Cheersing a mug.
Cheersing a Peloton Cafe mug. Not sponsored by them.
No, we just love their coffee.
Love their coffee. They were big supporters on the Kickstarter for the memoir, which so I put that. I'm going to get to that in a sec. We put that picture up and we said, "Tell us about the first time you came to Paris." We're going to record an episode tomorrow, and I was floored by how many responses there were.
Floored?
Yeah,
on the floor.
Character flaw. Oh, I became a flawed character.
You are flawed.
There were, I would say, hundreds of responses. So
almost too many to read.
Well, we put it into a
Google.
Google Doc just now, and it came to 20 pages. So we spent hours picking our favorite ones, and we're going to read through a few of them. But what the reason you came into the studio today, we can talk about, is we recorded the first lines from the audio experience for Paris on Air, my new memoir.
We read the best chapter, most will say.
The reason is Eddie features in the chapter.
Heavily.
There's a chapter, yeah.
It's kind of about me.
You got lines.
I would say it's a chapter about me.
So that chapter is a retelling with lots of bonus about that first trip of ours to Paris and meeting this woman, Mary, and how she helped us. It's retelling that story in a kind of new way. And what the idea with the audio experience, for anyone who's new around here has no idea what I'm talking about, I wrote a memoir. Obviously, because I have a podcast, I'm going to do what people would usually call the audiobook about it, but not this time.
What would you call it?
An audio experience.
Oh.
And that's because I'm getting characters like Eddie, like my lovely wife, Lena, also known as Lovely Lena. So a few of my French friends are coming into the studio. We're reading our lines. It's interactive. There's music from Aaron of Slim and the Beast. It's more than, it's more than just me sitting here going, on the third day, I went to the Champs-Elysees.
No, it's far more than that.
So
it
what
really is an experience.
Do you think I should play a little bit of it?
Can you?
I could.
Oh my gosh, you totally should.
Which bit should I play?
Be with me speaking.
Okay, I'll play a little bit.
My first line. Do that.
Okay.
Because it's character acting.
All right. Yeah. Okay. Okay. I'll play that now so you get a taste of what's coming up. Here it is. We walked until our feet were too sore to continue. We wanted to take it all in. Eddie, lovable Eddie, was beside himself with excitement, and so was I, drinking it up like a chocolat chaud.
Look,
He said to me as we strolled by the river Seine.
is that the Eiffel Tower?
Why, yes, Eddie, I believe it is, I said with a smile, and I ruffled his hair.
Boy, oh boy, it's a lot bigger than in my school books.
He said.
Can we go and see it?
Oh, all in good time, Eddie, I responded. First, we need to find a tourism office and sort out a place for tonight. We need to sleep somewhere after all.
Of course, Oliver. You know what's best.
He said, flashing a cherub smile that showed his double dimple. There you go.
Wow, that was even better than when I remembered recording it 20 minutes ago.
So that's going to come out as an audiobook probably for April, I believe.
Great.
An audio experience.
Birthday present.
If you want to pre-order it, 20 euros.
That's all?
Go on theeiffeltower.com/audio.
That's chump change.
What
does that mean?
But what I thought we'd get into is some stories of some of these people who've written in these really lovely Paris stories. If you're not following on Facebook or Instagram, go and find this post and read it because there are some really touching things.
And we can't get to all of them. We can't.
But we can summarize.
We can get to some of them. Some of them.
If I were to summarize what came up a lot, people saying we look similar.
Yeah, we edited them down and I kept the compliments.
You kept the ones that were nice about
I think
you.
he went through and deleted them.
There's also
People
a lot
say
of
we do look alike. I don't see it.
people. Really?
No, I do see it.
Since we've been in Paris, a lot of people have been commenting.
It's kind of crazy.
Some people say we look like twins.
And they thought I was the older one. I couldn't believe my ears.
You're a young 20-something now.
25. Which, quick math, how many years ago did I first come?
13.
That wasn't for you. That was for people at home.
And the other thing that people commented on, they really like the Peloton mugs.
Yeah.
I don't know if they're for sale, but I assume they are going to the Peloton Cafe
They
down in the
should sell
4th arrondissement. If you do go in there, tell them that you heard about them from the Eiffel Tower. It's not like I'm getting a commission out of your coffees or anything. I just like the cafe, right?
Sure.
Peloton. If you see Paul, you're in for a good smile, I'd say.
A smile.
Yeah, he's a friendly guy. He'll make you smile.
He will.
So
I thought even he'll smile at you.
He will certainly smile.
Oh.
Yeah.
Well, that's reason enough.
So let's pick out some and read them to each other. Okay, so I'm going to start on one that as I was reading, I want you guys, I guess at home they'll be hearing it as I was when I was reading it. Okay.
Well, I was when I was reading it.
Okay, this is quite a fun one. It is from Nishanaru. It's hard on Instagram to know. But I'm reading it, and this is what
I think
it
it's
says.
Nishanura.
Nishanura. Hello, Nishanura. Thanks for following. My first trip was with my sister, and I did fall in love with Paris. That trip was way too short, so I returned the next month on my own. Hang on, this is the second trip. Does this count?
Don't read it. No, it doesn't count.
It goes, one sunny day, I was enjoying a beer alongside the Canal Saint-Martin when a man stopped to sit with me.
Aw.
I'm thinking
Romantic, yeah.
We're
That's
having a nice,
actually.
innocent chat when the conversation took a decidedly inappropriate and uncomfortable turn.
Uh-oh, not romance.
He wouldn't get up from the table, and the way I was sitting, I'd had to lift my legs over his in order to exit.
Oh, God.
My limited French was failing me. I felt stuck. This is horrible.
This is yuck.
All of a sudden, I heard a voice next to me asking the man in stern yet polite French to leave.
Oh, wow.
I was so consumed I hadn't even noticed that someone had sat next to us. It took a few rounds, but eventually the man left. The relief.
What a hero.
So as I'm reading this, I'm like,
Oh my God.
she's going to marry this guy.
Totally.
Right?
I thought the first man was romance, the second man was
Yeah,
romance.
so I'm still thinking romance.
Yeah.
It's going to take
It was
a
years
twist
ago,
for us
and
all.
now
I
they've
think.
been married 45 years.
It says, where am I up to? The relief. As it turned out, not only was my new neighbor a hero, but he was also fun to talk to and put me onto an awesome podcast.
Wait a minute.
And I'm like, okay, this guy recommended my podcast?
Yeah, so weird.
So thank you, Oliver, for rescuing me.
What?
And for all of the enjoyable Eiffel Tower episodes. Flashback.
Wait a
couple
minute.
years. This is true.
I mean, sure.
A couple of years ago, this exact thing happened.
Where?
I didn't even thought about this. At the canal, at the Cork and Cavern, an Irish bar. where
Oh,
we used
yeah,
to
I
go.
know.
Yeah. So I remember it. I remember thinking this guy was, I was like, they can't be together. He's being really creepy. But maybe they are. And I was like, she's not speaking French. He's definitely French. So I interjected.
How did you do it?
I can't
Give
really
me an
remember.
example of the stern yet polite French.
I think I would have said, Monsieur, excusez-moi, Monsieur. I think I said, she's with me.
Oh,
Or
that's a good save, actually.
maybe I said something like, no, I would have said, please leave her in peace. There's a thing you can say like,
Say it.
I would have said like, laissez-nous tranquille.
Ooh.
Like leave us in peace.
That was
or like
stern
leave
yet
her in
polite.
peace. Yeah, something like
I
that.
almost want to leave.
I think I threw him in the canal. No, but
You
that's,
should have.
I remember that
is
story
a good one.
actually. That was,
I think that's the best reply.
yeah, and
We started at the top.
Nishanaru.
Nishanaru.
And then I would have said, she would have said, thank you, you're my savior. And I would have said, subscribe to the podcast.
As for payment.
In the early day, I would have said him one time, and I don't know when this will happen, but I'll call on a favor for you. I'll put out an Instagram picture asking for cool stories. Share this story.
You're like Puss in Boots.
No, I was going
No,
for
she's
it was
like
the
Puss in Boots.
Godfather.
Oh, I haven't seen that.
Oh,
I only
really?
watched Shrek. No, I have,
better be
but I
kidding me.
prefer Shrek.
Okay.
2.
Okay, that was a
That's
good
not
story.
sponsored either.
That was probably the best one on Instagram. Do you want to do one?
Yeah, I actually do have a favorite one. It's really short after that long one.
Let's go. Just so everyone knows that he's very competitive and wishes he was the hero in the story. So if anyone has a hero story, call in.
I'm also going from one that was a hero story to a negative one, but it's my favorite, from Lynn Latham. And she just said, at my first dinner in a Paris restaurant, I broke a tooth on the olive top tapenade. Oh, how do you say it? Tapenade.
Tapenade, yeah.
I would have had it right. I just thought it was so funny. That's all she
She
said.
broke her tooth on an olive-topped tapenade. Is that what she said?
Just an olive tapenade.
Yeah, okay.
Are they crunchy?
I think they're always olive tapenades.
Yeah, I thought that was so funny. That's all she said, and she left it at that.
Really?
Yes.
That was another theme. A lot of people, that was a theme, a lot of people had negative stories that turned into love
Totally.
stories.
Or like, and then I went back the second time and I fell in love.
Yep, there were a
But
lot
not that one.
of bed bugs.
A lot of bed bugs, insect bites,
people getting
rude
robbed and
Parisians.
stuff like that.
Yeah, I don't want to read those.
No, we're not going to read them because
they
they're a
make me
little
sad.
bit, yeah. But it was interesting that everyone turned it around. Here's one that I've highlighted from Cheryl Matska. Mm-hmm. My first trip to Paris was at the start of my junior year in Grenoble, which is a city in southeastern France. I wasn't really prepared in terms of reading, planning, knowing what to see. Sounds familiar, Eddie? But I like this bit. I remember walking past the Roman baths and thinking that, now just for Eddie, I don't know if you know the Roman baths, this is like 2,000-year-old ruins, central Paris left there.
Right.
She walked past and she remembers thinking, whatever that was really dirty and messy. She's from the cornfields of central Illinois, had a lot to learn, she said.
Got it.
But then she was amazed, excited, and in awe, as one should be, visiting the Musée de Cluny, I believe.
George Clooney.
Yeah, I made that joke. Continue.
Useless. I didn't get it because I don't listen to the podcast.
Really?
I only listen to every second episode.
Go on then.
I actually really love this one. She said she came to visit a Frenchman who she met by chance during his 3-day trip to DC. He and Paris charmed me, and now we're married.
Oh,
Well, you know I love love.
what's the who's in that in?
Oh, sorry, Anna Ferreira Mendez.
Anna
But you know I'm
Ferreira
a
Mendez.
hopeless romantic.
Eddie, you're a hopeful romantic.
Wow, that's way nicer.
You are. You always.
I'm writing that down.
Here's a short one. Love the short ones. Beckett Graham. Ringing any bells?
No, should it?
The host of the History Chicks podcast.
Yeah.
You don't listen to podcasts, apparently. She listens to this one. She's a hero. She's a hero.
Your hero?
Yeah,
What does
why
she
not?
do that's a hero?
She talks about history and chicks, females who have been.
Oh, no, that is hero.
This isn't an ad for her, but go
No.
check out her podcast
Yeah.
too. It is an ad, I guess.
Yeah. Well, no. Well,
Well, when
Yes.
I met her, she gave me a coffee cup, like merch. So she paid for this.
do you
spot.
still have it?
Yeah, I do.
Oh, okay.
She says
It's funny. I haven't seen it in the apartment.
it's on the top shelf. You probably can't reach
can't
it.
reach it.
So Beckett says, on her first trip to Paris, I ended up as an impromptu guest on a fabulous podcast.
That's an ad.
That's mine. It's all back scratching each other when
It
you're in the
is.
podcast industry.
That's the bed bugs.
Yeah, a few bed bugs were
You
in
said
here.
that. I got another one. It's nice and short. Are you
Okay.
about to say something?
No, I was going to take a pause for a story.
What story?
No, do your short one
Oh,
first.
it's a really short one, and it's from Maria Romeo. And she said, we parked our car and couldn't remember where, but we knew it was near a bridge. I think that's really
I
funny.
see that near
The
a
short
bridge
ones
in
are
inverted
good.
commas.
Yeah, quote unquote.
So there must be, I don't even know. I think
How
there's
many bridges
50
in
bridges.
Paris?
50.
Can you tell us a story about a bridge? Is that what you were going to do, or do you have a specific
No, my
story?
story was to take a break from reading these out for a second because you were out having a business dinner the other night
I was.
and you told me a story about trying to promote my podcast to this guy.
Oh, yeah.
And this needs to be told because it's not cool.
It's not. Okay. I will tell this story. Well, I was explaining why I was here and who I was visiting, and that my brother has a brilliant podcast. And he pulled it up on his phone. And
while you were talking, like he just pulled it up.
Yeah, he was like, "Let me see." Well, he favorited it for later, so he would actually listen to it.
Right. That, by the way, if I can interrupt,
yeah,
it's
please.
a really because usually people recommend podcasts, and the person listens, go, "Yeah,
I'll
check that out."
I'll do it.
Whenever people get the phone out like
They
that,
mean business.
It's a good
Well, it was a
sign.
business dinner. And then he pulled it up, and he was like, "Oh wow, like sure, let me have a little look at the reviews." And he pulled it up, and the
Did
first...
you say don't? What was going through your mind?
I was thinking, absolutely read the reviews.
Yeah,
it's only
thinking
going
that
to back
they'd be-
up that I said are brilliant because I know what the fans are like.
Right.
I know what that's like.
So in your mind, you're thinking,
like, oh.
you're thinking, this
I
is
don't
a
even-
5-star podcast he's looking at.
I
He's
don't even
gonna
need to
see
do any work.
Yeah.
It's going to be promoted. The proof is in the pudding.
Yeah.
Proof is in the podcast
So
comments.
he scrolled down to the pudding.
And what was in the pudding?
I don't know.
Disgusting. First thing that comes up was a 1-star review. It was
What?
nasty, it was negative, and it was...
Signed Eddie G.
No, it wasn't my 1-star because I did that ages ago. But no, it was just stupid. He said enough with the Kickstarter, which I thought was not very fair because you have stopped talking about the Kickstarter. And
Yeah.
That was a transient phase. That was a phase you were going through.
Well, it
actually.
only ran for 30 days.
Yeah, exactly.
You're right. I've seen this review.
But it was like... I don't know. And you can't delete a review, can you?
No, you can't respond to them either, like on
really?
TripAdvisor.
I just thought it was kind of gross for that to be there, and more importantly, for it to be the first one. And he obviously didn't care, and he thought, maybe he does care. Maybe he won't listen to it
The
now.
first review that comes up is the most recent one.
Yeah, exactly. And then you scroll two ticks of a Bob watch, and there's all these 5-star reviews,
Yeah.
and then you get into the meat of it. So this is my call to action: is for every single person listening to go and leave. It doesn't even have to be 5 stars. It would be nice if it was, but it can be 4.
What if it's 1?
No. I will find you. No, go and push it down. You know what I mean? For Oliver.
I didn't ask Eddie.
He's
to do
not
that,
gonna
but
ask.
that's a
This
very-
isn't an ad.
I don't ask for reviews. I'll tell you why.
You don't ask for much.
I don't ask for reviews because I think it's.
Yeah, it's gross.
I used to do it at the start, and then I found it's kind of what's the point?
Yeah.
And now that I
Now
know
there's
that
a
if
point,
there's a
actually.
1-star review at the top, it is
Yeah.
worth asking for reviews.
I'm not going to do it because...
got an idea.
Yes.
If you're doing this
You
on
cut me off
Eddie's
there,
beck and
actually.
call, well, this is for you.
Oh, okay.
You're one. If you're here on Eddie's beck and call, slightly hint to that in your
please.
review. But don't just write, I'm here because Eddie sent me,
No,
because then
I
it'll
won't
look like we're
that.
gaming the system.
Oh, yuck. Yeah. Leave like
A hint.
Yeah, like mention a fruit or a color. I don't know.
All right, that's enough about podcast
Yeah,
reviews.
that's enough about
But
reviews.
I'd never thought to knock down a bad review, but there you go.
Do it.
All
it for
right.
me.
All right. Back to some more reviews.
Okay.
Hang on, is it time for your surprise?
It's 1:00.
No, not yet.
Okay.
Very soon.
There's one I like from Amanda Carr. I'm not going to read the whole thing because
Some were a little long. Yeah.
And what I like about it is actually that she was on a girls' trip with her friends Jerry and Terry.
That's not true.
I think she made that up, but I quite like what she did there. Her friend got an infection from the manicure, not so good.
In Paris, a Paris manicure?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
But the thing I really liked is that she said Terry was also afraid of birds.
Yeah.
And so she went to the Champs-Elysees and the birds naturally gravitated to her. I just liked all the varying bits of the story. I just thought the birds
I
was
like
fun.
that.
And I like Terry and Jerry.
They would be pigeons, I'd imagine.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh,
Pigeons
they're
everywhere.
brave here.
Yeah, they're brazen.
I tried to get a good photo running through pigeons and having them fly, and they just sort of like politely
You
moved
trod
out
on
of the way.
the
Yeah,
pigeons.
they didn't move.
That was at one of the a little bit of history here, maybe for Beckett from History Checks.
He said Becky.
For Becky, under one of the arches in the 10th arrondissement. That's where you were running. Beautiful.
I'll post the picture.
I see where you are on the Google Doc, and I was looking at the one above it. It's quite nice. From Barbara Van Zanten. Great Scrabble score. Van Zanten. Imagine that.
Go on, read it.
V and a Z, or a Z if you're in America.
Can you do multiple words?
You can't do names either.
No, so not a good Scrabble.
Conditional tense would be if the
Yes,
rules change.
hypothetically.
Yeah. So Barbara says, my first trip to Paris was in 75. I like that. A lot of the ones that came in were from like 2017.
Totally, yeah, exactly.
And I was
A
like,
month ago.
You as a young man. Are like,
In 1975?
You were here, no, but I mean, you were here 13 years ago.
Totally, mine's good.
Yeah.
I pass.
So Barbara was here in 75, and she came to see a Frenchman that she'd met on the London Tube a few weeks earlier.
Love that.
Love that, Barbara. So it's a love one for you, Eddie. He drove me around in his 2CV. Do you know what that is?
No.
It's deux chevaux, like 2 horsepower. It's one of those little. It looks like a buggy.
Oh, I love
You
cars.
see them around sometimes. Yep.
You know that about
I reckon
me.
in '75 though, it would have been like a legit original.
Cool.
Because now they're quite touristy. It says on the side, "Hire me." No. So Barbara was there in the 2CV, and we did 100 kilometers an hour down the Champs Elysees at midnight.
That's your kilometers per minute. On a mile. I can't read.
She wrote KPM. Yeah, so it should be.
That's
it
fast.
Should be KPM.
I like
Look,
it.
it was the '70s. It was the '70s.
I'm here. I
At
wasn't.
midnight. That is so cool. I would love to do that.
Wow.
If anyone's got a 2CV, get in touch.
Well, ask about a Frenchman.
Yeah, maybe I should ask Van Zanten's friend.
Is she still here? Keep reading.
Barbara
What
says he
happened?
took me to Le Drugstore, which was nearby, and ordered me a huge coupe of ice cream.
What's coupe?
Like a cup.
Oh.
With 25 boules.
What's bull?
like scoops.
Oh, okay.
25
scoops.
scoops.
What the heck?
I think she's exaggerating. Firstly, I bet it wasn't 100 kilometers an hour. Secondly, it wasn't 25 scoops. And I bet
Probably
it
wasn't even midnight.
I bet it wasn't 1975
Oh,
either.
what?
This is a movie. Needless to say, we fell in love. Guess what?
What?
Got married. It lasted 8 glorious years. I have no regrets at all.
Wait, what? It lasted 8 years. The
ride.
25 scoops of ice cream.
No, the marriage. It was a
Oh.
wild ride. It gave me an enduring love of France, the French language.
And a career.
Hang on, you're reading with
Sorry.
me?
Well, I found it.
And a career.
You know I love a career woman.
That's one of my favorite ones.
That is
And-
a really good
And
one.
on Facebook,
Oh, I
it comes
see
up
it.
that she's a top fan.
What?
It comes up with a little diamond that she's a top fan.
Oh, I wondered what that was.
Meaning
Oh.
she's comments a lot, which I encourage. It's great.
That was a good story.
What, your turn?
Oh, I didn't have one lined up.
I've got a quick one lined up.
Okay, hit me.
Laurie Papania McCallum.
Yeah.
She goes, ah!
What?
It's AAHHHH. But maybe it's ah.
Oh, yeah. What is it, capital A? Any of them?
Yeah.
Oh, she's screaming.
My first time to Paris, I fell in love. With Paris,
sold.
of course.
Oh, no.
I stood on the Pont Neuf Bridge crying the night before I flew home. Guess how many times she's been since?
How many?
25 plus.
What?
Yep.
That's like as many ice cream scoops as Barbara had.
Maybe she
A
lives.
scoop a
Maybe
year.
she lives in Fontainebleau nearby.
She just comes across.
She comes in for work. That's a nice one.
Shocker, my next one's about love. Finally, a lot of them are about love.
Yeah.
It's so weird.
It's a
I don't
city of
get it.
love.
Oh, maybe that's
you get
why.
that.
Oh.
This isn't. This isn't an Auckland
I've never
podcast.
fallen in love. The city of
City of.
sales?
You used to live there. Continue.
Okay. She said that she went with her.
Who?
Foot Hillary?
Yeah, you got to use the
Well,
names.
that's a handle. I
Hey,
guess.
randomly enough, I think Foot Hillary's a regular commenter.
Really?
I think she's in New Zealand.
Wonder if she's in Auckland. That would be spooky.
Could be he. Foot.
Hillary. Foot is guy. Yeah, this guy's name. She said that they went with their now ex-partner, fell in love with Paris, and out of love with him. That's what I liked about it.
Yeah.
They went back again last year, blah, blah, blah. But,
I think it's a woman.
yeah, me too. Well, men can fall in
Yeah,
love with
I know,
men
I
too,
know.
so I've heard that happens.
Foot. You know what I think? I think it's Hillary Foot.
You think?
Yeah.
There you go.
Yeah.
Well, I don't know. I love that. You know, who needs a man when you have Paris?
True.
That's my
It's the city
takeaway.
of love. You can just come here and just be yourself.
Be in love with the city, like your one.
I see one that you've starred here.
What one is it?
I know why.
Oh,
Elaine Vincent. You two are the cutest brothers on the internet.
That's got nothing to do with anything, but I loved it.
What's this from Varushka Yushchenko?
Did I say that?
I'm not sure my
down the
pronunciation
bottom?
is correct, but it looks like a Ukrainian name, Varushka Yushchenko.
Read it out.
Yushchenko. I got married in 1986 at the Australian Embassy in the Harry Seidler building. That's where I had my big event.
Oh.
UN headquarters. We knew an ex-Australian Prime Minister lived in that building.
Which one?
Then he was the ambassador to UNESCO. 86. I'm guessing Gough Whitlam.
Cool.
Not sure though. We wrote to him inviting him and his wife to our wedding. Not only did they come, they took us to their penthouse apartment afterwards to celebrate with French champagne and hors d'oeuvre. Unforgettable day in Paris. That's an amazing story.
That's a good one. It reminds me of ours.
Our story.
People taking them under their wing and going above and beyond in the city of
I'm
love.
going to look up who the Australian Prime Minister was in 86. You
Okay,
find another
while
one.
you do that, I'm going to read this really nice one from Elaine Vincent. She says, "You two are the cutest brothers on the internet."
It's Bob Hawke. I was wrong.
Oh, do we like him? No, I don't want to get political. We're not going to do that.
Okay. So I think what we're going to do is we're going to do maybe one more each or short ones, a couple more, and then we got the surprise.
Ooh.
Yeah. So here's one from Instagram, Brian Baguette. It's just a nice one. My first taste of Paris was divine at every turn after a 40-hour journey from Australia. 40 hours? What, did you
wow.
walk? That's crazy. No, that was probably a long layover somewhere. I'd say.
Or a boat.
We arrived at our accommodation somewhere in the 6th, I think, as we were a short walk to Jardin Luxembourg.
Oh, yeah.
You probably heard my episode about the 6 hours.
Of course I did.
Because of the jet lag, I remember waking up
What
at
if you just
4
mumble?
a.m., says Brie and Baguette. It was so hot that we left the window open.
Nice.
So hot,
Who wouldn't
so
do that?
wed. Oh, so we'd left the window open, and I was met with a heady scent of croissants being baked and the sound of Paris on the street. I was still laying in bed, hadn't even started my adventure, but I can still remember how smelling those croissants, hearing those street sounds made me feel. I was already in love, and this was just the beginning of what would become my new life. Oh, I like that, Brie and Baguette.
That's nice.
It's quite poetic.
That's how you feel when I slip out of the apartment in the morning and bring back a bushel of baguettes.
You mean that's how I would?
What's a bushel?
You mean that's how I would feel? A bushel is I think it's like a
Like a
barrel.
basket?
That
Oh, okay,
like
not
a
that.
bushel of tea or something.
What?
It's a measurement.
Well, okay.
I'm not Googling that. Write to Eddie. Find him on Instagram.
Please DM me with the definition of a bushel.
I want to read out a kind of sad one.
What?
Yeah, because
Don't bring the energy down. But
she loved
you're
it
allowed to.
in the end.
Okay. If it's
Carrie
got
Allen.
a twist, I'll accept it.
My first trip to Paris was in 2016. Mm-hmm. In fact, she says it was perfect. My
But
second trip was last April.
all these people sneaking in with a sneaky
I'm
second
going to do
trip.
it, but
Not again.
2 days into my last trip, Notre Dame caught fire while we were dining on Ile de la Cité at a nearby restaurant. That's very close.
Damn.
On the fourth day, my apartment was robbed. They took around $1,200 in cash. Tip: don't take $1,200 in cash to
No.
Paris.
We'll hide it in a...
Sock.
Yes.
No, but seriously, there is a lot of... on a serious note, there can be a lot of robbery here. Try not to deal with cash. Cards, everyone. I got a $50 fine in the metro for not having a current ticket stub. Get a ticket.
No. I support that.
Well, she didn't have any money to buy a ticket.
She just got robbed. She
Yeah.
tried to get a free metro trip. She deserves it.
Comma. Accidentally set off an alarm at the Basilica Saint-Denis. Carrie, I'm beginning to wonder.
I like it.
Why did
She was having a bad time and she wanted to get close to a painting. I've done that before when I leant in to look at a painting and it went... Rear.
At the Basilica Saint-Denis.
There wasn't
It's okay.
It was somewhere in New York, but I know I'm not allowed to talk about other places.
Also, on our way to catch a train to take us to Versailles, we were forced off the metro because of protests at Champs-Élysées. And last, got my legs covered in insect bites while dining al fresco on a rooftop
What?
terrace near the Eiffel Tower.
She had an awful trip.
But I loved all 3 weeks in Paris despite these things. Look forward to returning.
Do you think all of those things happen on the same day or is staggered across 3 weeks? Because that's awful. Why
It was
wouldn't you go
staggered, It
home?
was staggered.
She's got the perseverance of a
Of a...
water buffalo.
Yeah, I'd say so. So, Carrie, sorry that all that happened. But hopefully your third trip to Paris will be lovely.
Hopefully. Hopefully soon.
What's the nice one we're going to end on?
Okay, this is my favorite. It's from Travels with Crin.
Crin?
Yes.
Long-time listener,
Long-time
Crin.
listener, big-time fan.
Hello, Crin guy.
Hello. She says, my first visit was when I knew
She might
I
have been
loved
the
Paris.
longest time listener.
Really?
Maybe.
Well, then how serendipitous that I chose to read this one last. Mm-hmm. My first trip was when I knew I loved Paris. I stayed in the same apartment now every visit as I stayed in for my first in 2009. Paris has everything you want if you just want to look for it. Take that back street. Go right, not left. Walk into open doors. You never know what you will find. I left my heart in Paris in 2009 and I get it back every time I visit.
That's lovely.
Isn't that
Corinne.
sweet? I like that advice, though. That's exactly how you live in Paris.
It's
you see an
true.
open door and you do run into it.
My gosh, I go through that door.
And what do you find?
I find whatever I'm looking for.
Exactly.
Yep.
If you just dare to seek
And
it.
usually I'm looking for a good time.
Yeah. What?
In the red light district of Pigalle.
Not
I'm
those
just
doors.
kidding, I'm
Different
just kidding.
doors.
No, but Corinne's
love
right.
doors.
I do. I often point to a door.
Much
Eddie
to
rolls
my chagrin. What does chagrin mean? I know a lot of phrases, but I don't know what any of them mean.
despair. It's a French word.
Oh, so I used to
Chagrin.
write. Oh, brilliant.
Chagrin.
Thank you. Chagrin.
You could order in a restaurant almost by the sounds.
What?
Of it. Sounds like a food.
despair.
Corinne is exactly right. And she sort of referenced something I do on my live videos.
Hmm.
Hint, subscribe on YouTube. You might be number 5,000. But I did a walk the other day. Sometimes I do these live video walks, as you know. Eddie.
I watched those.
Have you been on one before? You filmed one.
I filmed one.
You filmed
Even
in
better.
Bouchemont with Slim and the Beast.
Bouchemont.
And I do something sometimes. I'm standing at a left or right, a crossroads in life
Yes.
in Montmartre.
Yes.
And I say, guys, put a comment. I say right, left,
Really?
or right. And the first 3 similar answer that I have, I'll do it.
Best of 3.
So people go left, right. And whatever.
How long do you wait
First
at an
to 3.
intersection?
I'll wait until they comment. Seriously.
Hours sometimes.
No, but I mean,
No,
the whole
they
point of doing live
no,
videos
I
is
think-
interaction.
Well, it's like choose your own adventure.
Exactly.
For them.
And that's a hint of something
How do you think the
that's coming
people
up.
that don't get their turn feel?
I'll tell you one thing, and this is a public service announcement. Sometimes people watch these videos not live.
And they still comment?
No, they think they're watching live.
Oh.
So, guys, there's one particular person that sent me an email. They said, you never, ever respond to my comments on the live videos.
Oh.
So one thing you need to know, everyone, is I never ignore
No.
purposely. I never ignore anything.
You're not that kind of a guy.
So if you're writing questions I'm not answering, think maybe that
Can they tell? Is there like a blinking red button?
there is if it's live.
Right. So
But
look
you
out
could
for
be
that.
watching it 3 days later.
Yeah.
Remember that, guys, because I see sometimes someone will comment, what's
Like
the name of,
after the fact.
no, turn left. And I'm like,
God.
that was 2 days ago.
Oh. Aw.
It's just a bit sad, isn't it?
You should do like go back and turn left.
I should...
Do it again.
So I was stalling for a second there because now it's 1:15 and I have a
Stop
surprise
it.
for you.
I swear to God, if you pull my leg again.
It's actually a big surprise. I'm serious. I wouldn't... I don't want to give away too much of the book, but seeming we're doing this episode today. Mm-hmm. What happened after the podcast, you might remember. People who haven't listened to it, you've missed out. But at the end of the episode, I set Eddie
Cover
up
your
for a
ears.
big surprise, and there was a knock at the door. And
We did like a week's worth of looking for Mary, and then when all hope was lost, and we were signing off on the podcast episode, there was a knock on the door, and he had a glint in his eye and
Well,
a grin on his face,
something we didn't say on the podcast
and my heart is like quite literally racing.
is, and I think I've talked to you about this, that she got in touch afterwards.
Mm-hmm.
But I just didn't tell you much more about that.
Mm-hmm.
So she got in touch and she said, this is Mary, the lovely woman who took us in.
I'm sweating.
Yeah.
It's actually happening.
She got in touch and listened to the episode. And she said it was lovely. She said it was her
So now you're in contact with her.
correct.
So if you wanted to,
But she doesn't live in Paris anymore.
mm-hmm.
That doesn't mean she can't visit Paris.
Mm-hmm.
So I said to her, I've got Eddie in Paris. He's in the studio today. Is there any chance you're going to be in Paris so we can talk over our first visit?
Stop it.
She couldn't come to Paris.
Oh.
But that doesn't mean there's not a possibility
Oh
of
my
a surprise.
gosh.
Sorry that I'm talking slowly, but I'm looking at my phone to
What's
get the timing
going
exactly
on?
right. What if I told you that me and Mary have been in a lot of contact lately? What if I told you
Oh my gosh.
that I said to her, if you could make a call at
Stop.
exactly 1:15,
Stop.
surprise Eddie with your version of the story, the truth of our first
It's
visit.
happening.
And I said, what if you could tell the embarrassing stories
Wait,
from
what?
young Eddie when he was 12?
Wait, what?
Do you know what she said?
What did she say?
Oh, look at that. My phone's
Oh
ringing.
my God. Can I answer it?
Yeah, I'll put it on loudspeaker.
Okay. Hello?
Hello?
Mary? Hi. It's Eddie. I don't know if you remember.
Hi, Eddie.
Wait.
How are you?
Wait. Say something else. Wait, I recognize that giggle anyway. I literally can't believe that you dragged me in here again and lied to
I
me.
feel like a fraud.
You know
I
who
can't.
do the listeners at home know who your accomplice in this lying scheme
It's
is?
lovely Lena.
Not so lovely right now. What are you calling for?
Well, I told you I had a surprise.
Yeah.
Don't you remember we were out
I
for,
hate it.
Don't you remember we were out for dinner the other
I
night?
hate it.
Eddie, we're out
Yes.
for dinner the other night, and you said, Lena, tell me the first story from when you first came to Paris. And I said, wait. Remember?
Oh my
And
God.
then I changed the
We
subject.
all remember this.
How can
This
I
is the
forget?
surprise.
It was a
She's going
lovely
to tell
dinner.
you her story.
The dinner was lovely. Lena is not.
So here's so Lena,
I hope that the listeners at home are seeing the
My
true colors here.
the listeners at home know Lena and they like her.
Yes.
Yeah, so it's okay.
Okay, that's
it's a
some
nice
of us.
surprise.
Oh, for them.
But Lena,
Yeah.
we've-
Can everyone hear me?
yeah,
you're
yeah.
recording.
Oh.
I started.
Hi,
we
everyone.
spent the whole episode telling people's first trips to Paris, and as a real special treat for Eddie, you're going to
Yeah.
tell him yours live because you have
He's so excited.
you have such a lovely
He's so
story.
excited he can't even. He's speechless.
Yeah.
He was sweating before.
I'm not
bet
sweating
he was.
anymore.
But anyway, Lena, why don't you round us out here? What did you have a nice story when you first came to Paris?
Well, yeah, I think so. It's quite Parisy
Go
and
for it.
quite young girl, romantic-minded.
I do like
So
love.
I was 14 when I first came to Paris, and I came with my family, my two parents, and my younger brother, who was then like young boy, didn't care for anything except like Lego, basically.
Yeah. A bit like our story.
Is it?
How old was he?
He must have been 9, maybe.
A young 9?
Very young 9.
Yeah, okay.
Anyways, moving on. So prior to the trip, I've been reading this novel by Plum Sykes, I think she's called.
Yeah.
And Plum...
First name basis.
Yeah, me and Plum, you know. She kept going on about this amazing cafe restaurant called, and in my Swedish mind I pronounced it La Durée.
Say it again.
It was on the left bank.
Say it again.
La Durée.
La Durée.
Which
with
is?
2 E's for some obscure reason.
But Eddie, put yourself in her position. She didn't know what it was.
In her
It's
shoes?
a restaurant. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
And she kept going on about it being the most magical place, hidden, tucked away somewhere in the left bank. And I was like, oh my gosh, could this place be real? This is too good. So I spent my first 2 days here just forcing my family to patrol around the left bank with me until I found it on a corner of Rue Bonaparte. And another rue, which I can't remember. And I was so happy I got to sit in the safari chairs. I got to order the crazy expensive hot chocolate. It was great.
What did your brother make of it all?
He said, let's.
I think I
He
left
said,
him
let
at-
go.
I left him at Disneyland. He was happy.
So La Durée is a French luxury bakery and sweets maker, created in 1862. I found it online as you were talking.
And now you can find them dotted all over the place, really. But back then, I think maybe it was only 1 or 2, and it felt very exotic to me.
But how come you didn't just Google it?
Google didn't exist.
You know,
What year was this?
I don't know. I wasn't very internet savvy.
I found
Young
it.
14.
It was-
Young 14.
It was on the. It's on the. For people at home, it's on the corner of Bonaparte and Jacob. You might say.
That's right.
Jacob.
Yeah.
Jacob.
Yeah,
Okay.
that's right.
But that's Lena's story. Lovely Lena. You can follow her Instagram at Parisian Postcards. You still doing those
That's me.
watercolors?
Oh, they're pretty.
Yeah, I do.
Don't
I do, actually.
sell the one of the Eiffel Tower. I want it.
We'll see. I have quite a few interested people. We'll
I'm
see.
actually serious. I want that one.
I want it too.
really?
I'll bid on it.
I'll bid on too.
But thanks
Okay.
for sharing the story, Lena. We'll leave you back to your day.
yeah, see you later.
Bye.
Bye.
Okay, what do you have to say for yourself?
That was the surprise.
That was not a surprise. That was rude.
Was there a slight element of surprise?
Yeah, I was surprised that you would dare to do that to me.
I can't. Mary doesn't answer still.
She hates us. She said all those nice things.
I know.
No, she doesn't hate us.
I think she's just not
I'm just
so. She's much
disappointed.
like Lena at the age of 14.
Oh, not very internet savvy.
Exactly.
Which is fine. You know.
Anyway, the point of all this
Yes.
is threefold. First thing first, your first trip to Paris might not necessarily be your best. It can be a tough city to navigate, to negotiate, to understand, but don't let it knock you up. You know what they say?
Knock you up?
Don't let it knock you up either. Well, that's another story.
do.
Depends who you're hanging out with. But you know what the motto of the city is? Fluctuat nec mergitor.
Wait, what?
It's Latin.
What language
I don't know
was
how to
that?
pronounce. I don't know how to pronounce it, but it
Okay.
means it's like a boat. It's like tossed but not sunk.
Oh, I love that.
Yeah, so that's how you should be on your first trip.
That's the motto?
Yeah.
Can cities have mottos?
Yeah, sure.
Oh.
Yeah,
do
like
you know any
City of
others?
Sales
Sorry,
and
we're not
Auckland,
like-
City of Love.
That's not a motto. That's
is
like
it?
a moniker.
Oh yeah, you're not.
I knew you were
You're
going
like
to
Rachel if we're talking about friends. No, but the thing is, Paris can be tough,
Yes.
but you're going to come to love it. Everybody does.
Totally.
The other thing is, obviously, the reason that we're talking about this is because we're doing the audio experience. Check it out. theeiffeltower.com/audio, AUDIO. That's where you can pre-order
Easy.
the audio experience. And lastly, I hate to say it, so I'll get Eddie to say it.
Go on and leave a lovely review and bump that awful review down. Do it for me. Do it for Oliver. And do it for yourself.
Yeah.
Because it might be fun.
Yeah, it'll be fun. Maybe I'll read it out.
Enjoy
on the show.
yourself. Yeah, there you go.
That'll be it. Eddie, thanks for coming into the studio.
Thank you for having me. It's
It's been
always
fun.
a
How long is it
pleasure.
going to be until you come back here again?
Give me 2 years.
2 years.
Or if it's by popular demand, I will come back earlier to do it.
You know when I'll see you, though?
Yes, I do.
On the road trip
On the road trip.
in New York City.
I cannot wait.
I cannot wait. I'll see you there.
I'll see
End
you
of
there.
May, early June.
Perfect. I'll get the afternoon off work.
And here's where I usually do the exit, but Eddie,
I'll do it.
Yes.
Eiffel Tower listeners, this is...
Eiffel Tower.
I said it right. Have a lovely week wherever you are out there, you beautiful, beautiful people. Follow, subscribe, like, and leave a good comment. Bye. Review. Bye.